We have the Stanwood area that is undergoing sandbagging efforts at this time.
You never know what will happen. It all depends on exactly how that earthquake happens, how it's focused, as to how big a tsunami it generates, or if it generates one at all.
Victims of the October floods are relieved today to hear millions in federal aid will now be available to help them try to rebuild their homes and lives devastated by the high water.
Any incident has to have a coordinated effort. And any kind of a multi-counties incidents, 5, 6, 7 other counties are having the same incident, and everybody was out trying to grab the same resource, it can be catastrophic. By having a coordinating agency is imperative, and there's no way that any one county can know statewide what's available. And that's what the state EOC does. Well, that's when we call the state.
I think the most important thing about this facility is that it brings together state agencies and local government persons to deal with common threats that face the region, that face the state.
Now we're back at a phase 1. We only have one river that still has a warning.
From the beginning of an event to the end, this facility is a hub of activity, both in terms of response and the early stages of recovery for our communities and our people.
Okay, I guess if you would sort of coin a phrase, the Alert and Warning Center is actually a 24-hour all hazards emergency coordination center, and we take care of the day-to-day management of emergency operations for the state of Washington. We make notifications and disseminate emergency information on earthquakes, floods, tsunamis, lahars, search and rescue, hazardous material spill, and the list goes on. If you did a threat analysis of events that happen in our state or could happen in our state, we'd probably get involved in it. It might be as simple as making one telephone call or something as complex as coordinating resources to evacuate the city of Seattle. This document of documents that you see right here, those are actually our SOPs. Currently we have over 291 step-by-step instructions that tell us what to do. So when an event occurs, we can actually remove the procedure, bring it over here to the workstation, and using one of these over 35 different automated systems, get the message out to the public. Probably the most intimidating system in the room is right over here. The actual computer is across the hall. So the only thing they actually terminate over here is the light and a siren. That's part of the lahar warning system. And I think everyone's familiar with lahars. It's an Indonesian term that means massive mud flow. And in case they don't know it, Mount Rainier is very lahar prone. They've had them thousands of years ago, and we're going to have another one very soon. We just don't know when. But if there's a lahar on Mount Rainier, the light will go off, the siren will go off, and we'll come over here to this system. You've probably heard of EAS, which is the Emergency Alert System. If we would have a lahar, I would actually come over here and press this little button. I don't want to press it right now because it's in a standby mode. And it will actually transmit out a pre-recorded message that goes out to all the public. We also use the same system for Amber Alerts or any emergencies that happen at the Umatilla Chemical Depot or the 2 nuclear facilities over in eastern Washington. I think everyone is probably familiar with tsunamis that can actually happen out in the Pacific as a result of earthquakes and would cause tsunami wave to come into the coast of Washington. If there was, in fact, a tsunami that was generated out in the Pacific Ocean that would be damaging to Washington coast, these small circles represent the actual location of the AHAB sirens, and we would activate those here in the event of a tsunami.
Within 45 to 90 minutes, we can be activated and have up to 15 emergency support functions fully staffed, and this place will be buzzing. It's the information and nerve center of the state of Washington during any activation. When a command is given, when a direction is given, when support is given to a local jurisdiction which is asked for our support, they get what they need, when they need it, and the quantity they need it.
I think we're doing pretty good. We're supporting the counties as they request assistance, and of course the big focus right now is up in Skagit.
One of the most interesting things is that none of that would be of any use at all if we didn't have a very sophisticated communications network here. We have probably 35 different communication systems that allow us to not only track what's going on, but to tell people what we're doing about it, to relay instructions, to get visual information to our constituents agencies and to the decision makers so that we can make good decisions and get resources moving as quickly as possible where they're needed. If we have a disaster that takes out one part of our system, the other part of the system is available. When you have a facility like this, it has to be able to be maintained constantly so that because you never know when a disaster is going to happen, it has to be ready, and these complex systems have to be regularly tested and assessed and maintained, or it won't be there when the community needs us.